everyone, welcome to the channel. Today we're going to talk about how I got a gecko at Walmart. Something I never thought I'd hear coming from my mouth. So if you are familiar with Walmart, you know that they sell fish and, well, they used to sell fish and fish accessories. I've noticed a lot of Walmarts got rid of the fish. I don't know the deeper meaning to that. I mean, I guess it's good because every time I went in there, the fish was always dead. But now that Walmart has got rid of the fish, I've noticed that they've amped up on reptile products. Like they have big glass tanks for reptiles, similar to this one where it opens up from like, you know, the front and has like a slide-in capability. They actually sell exoterra supplies. They sell heat bulbs. They sell daytime bulbs. They sell all kinds of reptile products. But I didn't think I would walk into a Walmart and come out with a gecko, but I did. And if you're wondering, no, I didn't buy him. I actually found him. I was walking through Walmart with my wife a couple months ago, and she noticed something on the ground. She said, "What is that? It's a scorpion?" And I looked and I was like, "What?" She's like, "It's a lizard." And I looked at it and I thought right then and there it was a scorpion. It was tiny. I'm talking, it must have been this big, super tiny, barely making it across the ground at Walmart. And the Walmart ground, or the tile of Walmart, is brown. So I didn't even see him at first. My wife has just amazing eyes. She saw him. I got real close to the ground. I seen him, and I immediately knew he was not a native species to Oklahoma, because I know all the native species of lizards in Oklahoma. And right when I saw him, I was like, this is not a native species. What is this? So I grabbed him as gently as I could, and he was very weak, and I noticed that I was like, oh, I don't even know if he's gonna make it because he's so weak. Put him in my hand, and I carried him through Walmart, got in my car, started it. I didn't even buy anything. I went through there to buy stuff, but I was like, I gotta get this guy home. I carried him like this, driving all the way to my house, put him in a tiny cage, gave him some water, gave him some crickets. He devoured the crickets, had him in a little container, and I immediately did research. And what did I find? It is actually an invasive species called the Mediterranean house gecko. Now in America, we're actually seeing this much more in states where they used to not be seen, like Oklahoma, for example, but they come in through Florida, and they've just been spreading across the United States. Now, even though they are an invasive species, they're not very harmful invasive species. The most they're gonna do is just eat some bugs. That's the backstory on how I found him. I didn't buy him, I clickbaited you, gotcha, but I did find him in a Walmart. So how I found him in a Walmart is I'm assuming that he came in on packaging somewhere, maybe from Texas or someplace like that, and he just was riding it out in the back of a Walmart truck all the way. They unloaded him. He come off into Walmart, just brand new world, wondering where he was at, and he was very weak, and most likely he was going to die inside of Walmart because he was coming across the ground. He was wide open. I don't know how anyone didn't even step on him. And when I grabbed him, other people was looking like, what did you get? What did you grab? I was out of there. You know what I'm saying? I didn't want to show anybody because I knew that he might have just bolted. If any last reserve of energy he had, he might have just jumped out of there. I might have lost him. Went under the shelves, gone forever. Because, I mean, immediately the first moment I saw him, you know, I knew I was going to make him my prisoner. Joking. I knew it, but I did. It is frowned upon a lot of times to take lizards from outside and put them in captivity. I did it, okay? But I was like, he's an invasive species. He obviously needs help, and so that's what I did. So anyways, this is Giovanni. He has grown quite a lot from the last moment. I have some clips from when he was very young. I mean, I don't know how to describe to you how tiny he was, but he was tiny. I almost couldn't find crickets small enough to feed him. He was that tiny. And now he's much bigger, and he is feisty. He loves to run. Multiple times I've opened this up to clean out his cage. He's out here. He's up the walls. I'm like, oh gosh, I'm gonna lose him now. But managed to get him, put him back in here. And we're gonna go ahead and switch him over to this tank, a little bit bigger. The background, he can actually climb. This one he can't. I'm gonna have some substrate, a lot of areas for him to climb in this. So not only am I going to put him in this, I'm also going to show you how to care for him, the background of the species, because I had no idea they even existed. But now, since I found him, it's like, you ever notice that once you discover something, like you never noticed it ever before, but once you learn about it, that's all you ever see. It's just like popping up everywhere. It's like cars in Grand Theft Auto. You get in a car and every car in the game is now that car. The simulation. So I'm gonna go ahead and put him in here to teach anybody who's jumped onto the channel right now. I know it kind of got a lot to get into this part of the video, but I will show you what you need to put him in here. So right off the bat, I'm not gonna you don't need heat for these guys. These guys are very hardy species, but you will need some UVB, but they are nocturnal as well. But the UVB I'm gonna supply is very low. It's the Shade Dweller Arcadia UVB. This will just be good to provide him with any UVB that he needs. Also, it's gonna be good for a day and night cycle. So you really wanna keep these guys in temperatures from like 65 to 90 degrees, which is pretty much like every household out there. just average room temperature, he'll be perfectly fine in average room temperature. Also, you want to keep it between like 60 to, I'll say 80% humidity. Now, where these guys are from, it's more like rocky shrublands, cliffs, caves, that sort of thing. But obviously, that doesn't even matter. They made their way to America, and they're living in the suburbs freely and happily. These guys are very adaptive to environments, but still give them a lot to climb on. Make sure they have plenty of spaces to climb on. That's what we're gonna do right here. These guys can live a very long time. They can live up to almost 10 years. So if you get this guy, be prepared. You're gonna have him for a very long time. Now you can use cocoa fiber, reptile soil. I myself am not a big fan of the reptile bark. I don't ever use it. I only use it for like my insects and stuff like that. But I never use reptile bark for my reptiles. I usually use like, I use my own substrate, but if you wanna, I would say go ahead and use like reptile soil or something like that. I'm not a big fan of Eco Earth either. I feel like Eco Earth dries out really easy. But like I said, I made my own soil out of peat moss and sand. I have a video on that if you ever wanna check that out. But that's what we're gonna use for this right here. Also, I'm gonna go ahead and put some leaf litter on top of that. I get my leaves from outside from my own trees. They're not sprayed with pesticides or anything like that. They're totally fine. And that's what I'm going to use to cover the top. And that's going to provide humidity and keep the water in the soil a little bit better. Also, we're going to provide this guy with a water dish I also got at Walmart. That's what's another thing. I got this water dish at Walmart for $1. I could not even believe Walmart sold these water dishes, and I absolutely love them. The reason I love them is because I have tarantulas and all kinds of stuff that this water dish is so perfect for, including Giovanni. It's a tiny little water dish. It's perfect. It's $1. And I mean, you can't beat that. It's cheaper than the dollar store now, which is weird saying that. And on the last note, it's very important that these guys are insectivores. These guys eat insects. They eat crickets. They eat, I think mine ate a mealworm. Mainly his diet is crickets. So I mainly just give him crickets. I dust them sometimes with some calcium dust. Other than that, he's perfectly fine. But yes, crickets, small crickets about the size of his head. That's what you want. No bigger than his head. But yeah, that's what I feed my Giovanni, and he's doing great, growing fantastic. So anyways, this is the finished product. This is Giovanni's new home with the UVB, with the fake plants, with the cork bark for him to climb on and have his little isopod friends, and they can have parties at nighttime together. But this came out really good. I'm really happy with how this came out, and I hope Giovanni loves his new home. Anyways, that's all I have for today. I hope you enjoyed the video. I know I clickbaited you. I didn't say I bought him at Walmart, but I did say I got him at Walmart. If you are interested in the Mediterranean house cook, I hope I answered some questions. If you have one as well, if you have any questions or comments, put that in the description. I will answer those. If you have anything to add to this video that I did not cover, put that in the comments as well, because a lot of times somebody might come along and they might see my information, find it helpful, and they might see a comment like yours that is also helpful. We're always wanting to learn in this hobby, and always just keep teaching, keep learning. I'm learning new things all the time as well. Thank you for watching, everyone. I will see you next time.